Mommy, when I grow up, I want to learn how to fly. I want to have super strength. I want to fight crime. I want to be just like... Well, I want to be just like... It is no secret that the comic book world is a white boys' club. Emerging in the early 20th century, comic books created a new form of racial and ethnic stereotyping. In order to entertain the public, cartoonists created images that exploited stereotypes surrounding black citizens that the white community created. Stereotypes such as large lips or kinky hair were mostly commonly shown. Looking at African American images throughout the history of comic books, it is evident that both black men and women were victimized through these falsely portrayed images. As times have changed, so have these images. Black women are now created to be purely sexual creatures, instead of just incompetent citizens with unkept hair. For the longest time, white writers and artists refused to integrate black characters in superhero stories because they've always surrounded white male narratives. It wasn't until X-Men's character Storm, 33 years after the creation of comics, that the public was introduced to a black superheroine. She embraced what Saini explains in her article, Annals of the Black Heroine, What If All We Knew About Black Women We Learned from Comic Books, as the Quiet Queen. Her powers derive from nature, a common trope for African American women. This spiritual connection with the earth and its elements causes Storm to constantly battle obstacles pertaining to circumstances relating to the community. Although Storm broke boundaries, the creators formulated her to embrace Caucasian characteristics. So even when a black superheroine is represented, they are not made to fully embrace blackness. The public questions both her identity and her credibility as well when she marries Black Panther in 2006. The white community viewed it as a publicity stunt so that the publisher Marvel Comics could have more black readers. Storm's ties with a man caused her professionalism as a superheroine to be altered. Her status as a black married woman made her fans wonder if she could still successfully manage her duties. Moving past Storm, there is a repetition of black superheroines being hypersexualized. Saini calls this image the scandalous sojourner. This trope is described as one with strong feminine qualities and is overly promiscuous, which happens to be the main reason for their inner demons. Venus de Milo, a superheroine in the X-Statix comics, was designed with a full bodysuit geared towards access for sexual intercourse. Venus de Milo and other black superheroines are a written representation of the Jezebel stereotype. The lack of conversation regarding the few representations of black women in superhero comics is outstanding. These representations evidently have an impact, as shown through a recent study with 83 female undergraduates in the Midwestern region of the United States. They assessed the potential influences of the gender depictions of women in superhero films. The questioning process regarded topics such as self-esteem, gender roles within media, self-identification, and more. The conclusion was that by watching sexualized superheroines on screen, a woman's self-esteem is temporarily decreased off-screen. So why aren't more people talking about this? What needs to be done to spark a larger conversation about this issue and the impact it has on fans? A reason could be that the comic book genre has a history of being predominantly discussed by white males, resulting in little to no research on black females in comics. No research results in no public awareness of the matter. It would be wrong to say that there have been zero attempts to change black women's representations. Black independent artists have been tackling this misrepresentation of black women head-on for many years, but they even come across the same issues. In Milestone Media's, a famous black-owned company, attempt to fight against America's white patriarchal society through black characters, they still hurt their identities. Two main superheroines were Rocket, an unmarried, pregnant 15-year-old, and Flashback, a crack addict. Here's the catch. Rocket was a sidekick, and Flashback belonged to a team of fellow heroes. Even the company's black femininity and independence had a limit. Black females have limited representations in this historically known white male fantasy. This predominantly white field excluded the black community from being a serious part of the superhero world for decades. If there ever is a black superheroine, they are hypersexualized and mentally or physically damaged. Without a true representation of black femininity, what will a 12-year-old girl be able to look up to? Now that is something to think about.